Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. The last time I made a video on here I was very pregnant, but I'm no longer pregnant anymore. I had my baby boy. He will be 4 months old on November 29th. It's been a long time. So for today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my birth story. A lot of people asked me to record it, post it on YouTube. I posted like a shorter version of it on TikTok, but I wanted to do a more in-depth story on my YouTube channel, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm in an empty room in my house, as you can see, because we're in the process of moving, so this room is empty. This is one of the guest bedrooms. And I also got a new camera. I got the Canon G7X Mark II, so I look forward to making videos now with much better quality and higher definition. So grab some popcorn because my birth story is a little bit crazy. I don't want to keep this intro too long, so let's get into my birth story. So on July 29th at around, I want to say it was like 4:30 in the morning, my husband actually had to go to work, but I had woke up with excruciating back pain. I didn't really know what it was. I knew back labor was a thing, but I didn't know that that's what was happening to me. I could walk. It wasn't too bad. I lied. It wasn't excruciating yet. It was back pain, like it was there. So I was like, all right, let me get in the shower. Let me try to take like a hot shower. Maybe the pain will go away. Let me try to use the bathroom, go number 2. Maybe it's just like gas pain or something. So I get up and I try not to wake up my husband just because I didn't know if I was in labor or not, but I started the shower, I got in it, and I just kind of sat on the floor. While I was on the floor, I started to get pain, like light period cramps, and I was like, okay, like I had been in prodromal labor for, I want to say since 32 weeks. So I had been contracting since I was 32 weeks. I was 2 centimeters dilated since I was 34 weeks, but again, like dilation doesn't mean anything, so I didn't really think much of it. So I started contracting because that's what it was. I just didn't know, and so I pulled out my contraction timer on my phone and I started timing them. They were super inconsistent. I want to say they were maybe, some of them were 2 minutes apart, some of them were 5 minutes apart, some of them were 9 minutes apart. So I was like, okay, like I'm not in active labor yet, but I'm in early stages of labor, which could last forever, who knows. So I wake my husband up and I'm like, hey, I think I'm in labor, like I'm getting back pain, I'm contracting, nothing is making the pain go away, like it's just there. So I waited out for, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes, and at around like 5:45 in the morning I decided to call labor and delivery. And I was like, hey, I've been getting back pain. I'm contracting every couple of minutes and nothing is making the pain go away. So they told me to come in so I can get checked. And I was completely against cervix checks my whole entire pregnancy. Like they're just not necessary. But I decided to get it anyways. So we got to the hospital at around 6:30 in the morning, or like 6:20, around that time. And we got up to labor and delivery. They checked my cervix and I was only 2 centimeters dilated, 90% effaced with a bulging water bag. So they asked me, they're like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to wait it out? Do you want to go back home? I decided to stay at the hospital just for a little bit to wait it out. I think we stayed there for maybe 4 hours. They asked me if I wanted something to help with the pain. So I got a morphine shot. Now this didn't do anything for the pain. It just made me feel like I was high. They told me it was gonna help put me to sleep, but it didn't. It just kind of made me feel really relaxed, like kind of calm, but I was still feeling every contraction, the back labor, all of that stuff. But my contractions and my back labor at this point weren't like too bad to where I was like, oh my God, like I can't take it anymore. So we just waited it out. They gave me Jello, they gave me, I think, water, which that hospital ice, bomb. So I kind of sat in the bed for a little bit. I got on the yoga ball to kind of help my body like speed things up a little bit. And then around 11:30, I want to say, they came in, checked my cervix, and I was still 2 centimeters, 90% of face with the bulging water bag. So then they're like, okay, we're just gonna let you go home because you're not in active labor yet, and my hospital won't take you unless you're 5 or 6 centimeters dilated. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I wasn't in too much pain. So my husband and I left, and we decided to go get something to eat because I knew once I was in active labor, I was not gonna want to eat at all. So we stopped at McDonald's, and I tried my hardest to eat, but honestly, like, I didn't really have an appetite that much. My husband, on the other hand, he was grubbing. He was busting down on the McDonald's. He was eating. I was kind of jealous because I really wanted to eat, but I just didn't really have an appetite. So then we got home at around like 12:45. The nurses had told me, they were like, we're definitely gonna see you today. Like, you're gonna have this baby either today or tomorrow, which I didn't think anything of it. I was like, no, like, early labor can last so long. Like, who knows how long I could be in the early stages of labor for. I really didn't think I was gonna have my baby until tomorrow or the next day or even 2 days. So we got home, I got on my yoga ball, I did some hip circles, all the exercises that you would do with the yoga ball. And my husband started cleaning the house, doing the dishes, just kind of making sure the house was straight, because I guess he had a feeling that I was 100% gonna have the baby that same day, but I didn't know it yet. So after, like, I want to say maybe 45 minutes of being on the yoga ball, I decided to get in the hot tub just because I knew it would help relax my body. And my contractions hadn't picked up yet, but they had picked up, but not too bad. Like, I was still able to talk through them. I was able to handle it, but I know warm water helps in labor. So I got in the tub and I just kind of sat there for a really long time. I think I was in there for maybe 3 hours. And while I was doing this, my husband was cleaning, washing the dishes, doing laundry, literally doing everything just so I could focus on relaxing and just getting my body prepared for labor. So at around, I want to say it was maybe like 4:50, I got out of the tub, and because my hands started getting wrinkly, so I was like, all right, like, I think I'm okay. Like, the contractions went away. Wasn't really contracting. Like, again, they were super irregular. So I was like, all right, I'm fine. Like, I'll just get out of the tub now and just kind of wait it out. So I got out of the tub. I had on my towel still. Like, I didn't really have the energy to do anything. So I just laid on the bed with my towel on. I didn't feel like doing anything. I just wanted to lay there and breathe through my contractions to the best of my ability. So I FaceTimed my grandma at around, I want to say it was like 5:05. I FaceTime my grandma, we're just talking like normal. My husband's downstairs cleaning and I'm laying on the bed, and all of a sudden I hear like a pop and I feel this huge gush of water just come out of me. And in the moment I was stunned. I was like, what the heck just happened? Like, did my water just break? Did I pee on myself? So while I was on the phone with my grandma, I was like, I think my water just broke. But I didn't say it that calm. I was like, oh my God, my water just broke. And my husband's downstairs and I'm like, babe, like screaming. And I'm like, my water broke. And he comes running upstairs. He's like, what happened? I'm like, my water broke, like, check. And he like checks in between my legs or whatever, and there was the whole, like, the side of the bed that I was laying on was literally drenched, like, had water. Like, it was disgusting. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, while I was in the tub just kind of laying in there, I had lost my mucus plug and bloody shows started to happen. Just forgot to add that in there. But again, I didn't think anything of it because just because you lose your mucus plug doesn't really mean anything. So I had sent a picture to my mom and I was like, is this my mucus plug? And she was like, yeah. And by then I kind of told myself, okay, like, maybe I will have my baby today. Fast forward, my water broke. Everyone told me when my water broke, it was gonna be like trickles of water. This was a big gush of water, like a water balloon popping. And after that, like, I wasn't leaking any more fluid or anything. But yeah, so I was kind of just laying in bed like, what the heck, like, what do I do? And I had a really hard time because once my water broke, my contractions instantly picked up. They went from being like really inconsistent, 2 minutes, 5 minutes apart, to being 30 seconds to 1 minute apart. Like, they were strong and they were coming in hot. So once that happened, I kind of just labored at home for as long as possible. They were painful, the contractions, like, and I had back labor, so it wasn't regular like uterine contractions, it was back labor. And when I tell you guys back labor hurts, that thing hurts. And I just felt the pain like going all down here, down my legs and my thighs. Like, it was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. After my water broke, maybe like 5 minutes after, I got on the yoga ball and I started just rocking back and forth, breathing. My husband used the Theragun on me. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but it's like a massage gun. And he started applying pressure on my back with it, because that's really what gave me the most relief, was the Theragun on my back. So he just used that to give me relief from the back labor. He would put his thumbs like on my lower back to help relieve the pain. And after about maybe 35 minutes of laboring at home, I instantly started to feel fetal ejection reflex, which is when your body pretty much starts pushing out your baby on your own. So once I felt that, I was like, okay, we need to go to the hospital. Like, I'm not having my baby in the house without my mom or my grandma here. Like, we need to go to the hospital. So I put on a diaper, I threw on whatever I could find, and I had my hair up in a bun already, so we literally just left. All of the hospital bags were already packed and everything. We live maybe 20 minutes from the base, which is where I was gonna deliver, and my husband was zooming down the street. He was honking at people. He was getting like super anxious. I want to say we made it to the hospital maybe like 10-15 minutes, but the whole car ride to the hospital, I was literally like, oh my god, like the pressure, like I have to push. And my husband was like, hold it in, like you need to hold it in. He cannot be born in the car, like hold it in. I don't care if you have to hold your hand down there, you're not having the baby in the car. So we finally got to the hospital. It was the longest car ride of my entire freaking life. And we got to the hospital and my husband runs. So I didn't know this is what he told me, but it's so funny. So he told me he ran into the emergency room and he was like, I need help, I need help. And then the lady was like, sir, calm down, like what's going on? And he was like, my wife's in labor, her water broke, like I need help, I need help. My husband's crazy. The lady came out with a wheelchair for me. My husband drove me to the front and he was like, I'm gonna go park the car, like I'll be up there as soon as I park the car. So they put me in a wheelchair, and the whole time I was like, oh, like I'm in pain, I need to push, like I'm feeling so much pressure, like I need to push. And everyone was looking at me like I was crazy, but honestly I didn't even care in the moment. Like, I knew my son was gonna be born within the next couple of minutes if I didn't get up to labor and delivery. So I finally got up to labor and delivery, and they're talking to me. They're like, okay, we need your CAC, which is my military ID. And I was like, I don't have it, like my husband has it. And I was like, oh, like it hurts, I need to push so bad. And then they're like, okay, just relax, like we just need to sign you in. So my husband comes running up the elevator. He's like, I was like, I need my ID. And then he gives them my ID, they do what they need to do with it, and then they give it back to him. So then we get into triage and the lady's like, okay, I'm gonna check you. She was really rude. I'm pretty sure my husband like said something to her because she was so freaking rude. And they're like, we're just gonna check you, like you look like you're in active labor. I'm like, whatever, like I have pressure, I need to push. The lady that checks me, I guess she was training. I didn't know this until after I had already given birth, but she told me I was only 5 centimeters dilated, which I knew that was BS because my body was already pushing. And usually when your body is already pushing, you're already fully dilated. So I was like, all right, there's no freaking way I'm 5 centimeters dilated. I just didn't believe it. So after triage, they roll me into a random delivery room and my midwife comes in. I love her, she's amazing. And she was like, oh, how many centimeters are you? And I was like, 5, I don't know, I need to push, like I need to push bad, it hurts, like I feel like I'm gonna poop. And she was like, okay, well, you can't push because your cervix is gonna get bruised. You're only 5 centimeters. But then my midwife was like, but if you feel like you're gonna push, then you're probably fully dilated, so I'm gonna check you. So I'm laying like this on the hospital bed, like sideways, and I'm like, I need to push, but they were telling me to hold it in like the whole time, which hurts so bad. And my husband's like, relax, baby, like it's okay, just breathe, like you're almost done, like just relax, like calm down, breathe, you're okay. And once my midwife checks me, she's like, honey, your son's head is crowning, like you're gonna have this baby right now. I was like, I don't care, I just want him out of me. And she was like, okay, are you ready to push? And I was like, yes, yes. So I'm still laying sideways and I'm like holding on to like the railing of the hospital bed, and she's like, all right, push whenever you're ready. So since my body was already pushing him out on its own, it took me no effort to push him out. I pushed 3 times, and in 1 minute he was born at 6:35 p.m. on July 29th, 2022. My whole labor was just shocking. Like my husband's face after everything happened, like he looked so shocked, like traumatized. And he's like, I can't believe this just happened. And I was like, you're kidding me? Like I'm shocked. I can't believe my labor was that quick. Like I didn't expect it to be like that. Like everyone always told me, oh, first time moms always go past their due date, they always make it to 40 weeks. I made it to 38 weeks and 1 day. He was born 2 weeks before his due date, and he was also born 2 days before my husband's birthday. So it's just an interesting series of events. And then after he was born, we were just like, oh my God. I was like, my baby, like put him on my chest. My husband was crying. He was like, honestly, I don't think he knew. He was just very shocked. He cut the cord and then they were like, congratulations. A little, like maybe a couple minutes later, I pushed out the placenta, and yeah, it was a super easy labor. I didn't tear, I didn't need any stitches. And I think that's mostly because my body was kind of just pushing him out on its own, and I didn't push on my back, which is one thing I did not want to do when I went into labor. I did not want to push on my back, and I didn't. I pushed on my side, and yeah, I was only in active labor for 1 hour. And like I stated before, I pushed him out in 1 minute and 3 pushes. He was 6 pounds and 10 ounces. And he was 19¼ inches long. So he was a tiny baby. He wasn't too tiny, but he wasn't big. Everyone told me he was gonna be about 8 pounds, which I knew was BS because I wasn't big when I was a baby. My husband was small when he was born, so that just seemed absolutely ridiculous to me. However, I would 100% do it again. For the next baby, I 100% don't think I'm gonna get the epidural. Actually, I know I'm not gonna get the epidural. My recovery this time was so smooth. Like I was up and walking around an hour after he was born. It was so easy, and I'm so thankful for that. Like honestly, I was terrified that I was gonna have a super hard delivery, but thank God everything went smooth. Recovery was super smooth. So yeah, and now I have a 4-month-old baby, which is absolutely crazy to me. I'll probably show him in another video, but right now he's downstairs with my husband just because I've been procrastinating on filming this video. Filming in general, I haven't filmed on my channel in about like 3 months. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 months, so I finally had the time to do it. And yeah, that's my birth story for you guys, just a little bit more in depth. I know I haven't posted on here as much, but now that I have a new camera that's really good quality and a ring light, I will be posting a lot more, or at least try to post a lot more, because I actually genuinely really like recording videos, and I love posting like my life and stuff. So yeah, that is my birth story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I love telling people it. Like the look on people's face when I tell them my birth story, they're just like in shock. Subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, like, comment, share this video. I have more video ideas in the works for you guys, especially because we're moving, so stay tuned for that. And yes, thank you for watching this video, and as always, All my socials are linked down below if you want to keep in touch with me and stay updated with my life.